Kia ora te iwi and welcome to The Chew. Coming at you from the studio here in Kāmuriwai, Arrowtown. Called Arrowtown Dad, tēnei. And today we are chewing the fat with a return guest. We have Gemma Peacock. Kia ora, Gemma.
Kia ora. Kia ora.
Right, so I know you've been on this before, so you're probably comfortable sort of with how the format works. Mm-hmm. However, what I might get you to do is just introduce yourself however, whichever way you want to.
Sure. Okay. I'll introduce myself slightly differently this time.
Yes.
Ko Kotirana te whenua tipu, so I grew up in Scotland. Ko Tahuna te Kāinga, Queenstown is my home. No Kerete o ku tipuna, my ancestors are Celtic, so no Airana, no Wira, no Kotirana.
Oh, right.
Ke Punatapu aho e noho ana, he kairahi hautautanga aho e space to lead ko.
Right.
Ko Gemma Rose Peacock tōku ingoa.
Kia ora. Oh, that's awesome. So, this sounds a bit interesting. So, quite a different intro to the last time.
Learning
and
level 2 te reo Māori.
And so, where are you currently learning te reo Māori?
At SIT.
SIT, at the SIT classes here in
Tahuna.
In Queenstown.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
With Paris?
Paris and Emily.
And Emily.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And are you enjoying that?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's really good to immerse myself in a more formal way of learning.
Yeah.
I've learnt some te reo here and
there. Yeah.
Over the last, I guess, 6 years that I've been in the country.
Yeah.
But more through like my work in social services, and so I've just picked up what I've needed.
Yeah.
In time, but like it's more important now for me to learn more formally, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And what level are you currently learning?
Level 2.
Level 2. You're on level 2
Yeah.
at the moment, right? Have you done any noho marae yet?
Not yet, because I was in Scotland.
Okay.
When they did their first noho.
Oh, right.
But I've got one coming up in September.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Do you know where you're going?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Oh, that's good to hear. I mean,
yeah.
So for those of you who are listening, watching, the SIT classes, they're delivered through Te Wānanga or Aotearoa, and I used to be a kayako or teacher for those classes, so I'm quite familiar with the format of them. And now, good friends of ours, Paris and Emily are running the level 1, level 2 classes. Yeah. And then we have Emily Churnside, who's also teaching the level 5 Ronakitanga out there. So, there are avenues for learning te reo Māori.
There are, and there's little like pop-up groups. So there's the coffee group at Bus Stop that I'm going to join.
Yes.
Yeah. For a bit more of a casual kōrero, you know. And it's great to see. Yeah. Because my first ever experience of, I guess, learning te reo Māori was in your class at the library. Yes,
that's right, the library class.
Yeah, I did a cycle or two of that.
Yes.
And then I went up to Auckland for work and came back. So, now I have the time and the want to really put time and effort into this. The commitment,
Oh, that's fantastic. And, speaking about that library class, I actually still run those exact same classes, but not at the library.
Oh.
Yeah, I run them through Southern Reap.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they asked me to facilitate some Māori language classes for them, so I thought, I'll bring the program in, and I've been running that for a few years now, about 3 years.
And where do you do that?
At the BP roundabout.
Oh, yeah.
The big, 3-story building there at the back there. Yeah, so Southern Reap have one of the offices in there. And there's a boardroom that I teach out of. So that's every Wednesday. Wednesday evenings, yeah. So I'm currently going through an 8-week cycle. We just finished week 5, so we've got 3 more classes left for that for that cohort. And people can apply through Southern Reap to
Good
do
to
it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll spread the word on that.
Yeah, well, actually, no, don't.
No?
Because the Southern Reap lady is like begging for me to tell them when I can run another cycle, because she just gets bombarded with people asking to go on the class.
Okay, I'll hold off, because when I put the word out, the word goes out.
I know. So I'm struggling to find the time to deliver the class, and I'm currently in the middle of a cycle, so I can't do one until I finish this cycle.
Yeah.
And then after that, I have to find 8 weeks where I'm free every Wednesday.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's tough. Anyway, this episode's not about me. So I just want to sort of go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, when we did our last podcast episode, that was, it was a couple of years ago.
It was just after the Kuma 2023 awards.
Yes.
Because it was part of that podcast series that you did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And so if I go back to then, even though it's only been 2 years since we last chatted, you've managed to squeeze a whole lot into that 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the time you were working for the Kiwi Kit Community Trust?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand you're no longer with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now all I know is you've been travelling around all over the place. So how about taking us through sort of where you went after our last chat at the last podcast series?
Yeah. So where I went, I think it was around April, May of the following year, so 2024, right. I made the decision to exit my role at Kiwi Kit Community Trust.
Yeah.
And that kind of cemented an end to my social services employed kind of career,
Right.
And I went full-time into my own business, which is Space to Lead Co., which I mentioned earlier. So from there, I've just been on the move. So I felt the need to go back to Scotland and reconnect with the whenua there, with my whānau, with my roots. I kind of took everything that I felt really connected to through the Māori culture and had a bit of a research and investigation into the old ways, the original ways.
Really?
Yeah, when I was back in Scotland. So I did this amazing, my dad talks about it a lot because it lit us both up. We went out to the Outer Hebrides.
Right.
Which is a few islands, more than that, out in between Scotland and Ireland. So it takes like 5 hours on the boat to get out to the Outer Hebrides.
Right.
Yeah, and so we started off in a small island called Barra. And
is this on the east coast or the west coast?
The west. Never eat shredded wheat. West. I always have to do that. On the west coast. And so it was a bit of a pilgrimage when I think about it now, because I've been doing a lot of whakapapa research into our clan lines as well. So I'm wearing today Campbell of Argyllshire tartan. And so the Campbell people where I'm from are from the west coast of Scotland, the Highlands, and Inverary in particular is our kind of ancestral lands. So we just kind of journeyed through there with a different lens this time, with a different thinking, because as a child I actually spent a lot of time up there on those lands with my dad, but not realising the kind of depths of the connection there until now, in my 30s.
So who went on this pilgrimage? Was
just me and my dad.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So it was a great time to connect and realise what's important and take a bit of a space, you know, out of what we think's important in life, you know, and understand the critical point that the Scots Gaelic language is at the moment.
Yeah, right.
With not many speakers.
So the name of the language is, can you say that again?
Scots Gaelic.
Scots Gaelic.
Yeah.
Which is different from Gaelic?
Well, the way I understand it is Gaelic, they're of similar origins.
Right.
You know.
But the languages are quite different, are they?
I think of it as different dialects of the same language, to be honest, because I am not very good at speaking it, but I can read it and I can pick up what's an Irish Gaelic word versus a Scots Gaelic word.
Oh, wow.
In some circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way I understand it. I'm still learning. I'm still on that journey of how those languages came about, but the Scots and Scots Gaelic are considered Indigenous languages of Scotland.
Right.
Scots itself, which people think is just slang, is actually considered, only last year I think it was officially recognised as an Indigenous language of Scotland.
Yeah. Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah, really fascinating. So we got a good telling off when we arrived on the island, because this young lad was serving us our, I'm going to get this the wrong way around, our black pudding and scallops.
Ooh,
and
kind of sounds like, half of
it
sounds nice.
A scallop, like,
yeah, scallops.
But then, so now I can't remember what the correct way is, because on the island, the guy said, my dad pronounced it the way he always pronounced it, which I think was scallop. And the young lad was about, I don't know, young, and he was serving us, and he went something along the lines of, Mister, if you say it like that on this island, you'll get shot. It's scallop.
Oh my God! Well, that escalated. That escalated quickly.
We got a cultural experience from the very first meal, and my dad, we found it absolutely hilarious, but we definitely got a telling. You know?
Wow. Yeah, because we call them scallops here in New Zealand. So, but I understand people call them scallops. Yeah.
Well, that's the dialect, I think, of the Outer Hebrides. They're scallops, and get it right, you know.
So, did your dad was your dad on a new pilgrimage as well, or was he? He
was by
familiar?
the end of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we just. I think initially it was, I've always wanted to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
And we had been planning it for years, and finally we got the chance, because I said I was coming home for a decent chunk this time.
Yeah.
4 or 5 months, and. So really it was, let's go and have a look. And then by the end of it, like, he was really touched and realised the importance around visiting these islands and around our culture and around preserving the old ways and preserving the language.
Yeah.
Because it did feel embarrassing, to be honest, to be going out to where these people spend their lives retaining the language and putting the effort in and making sure it doesn't disappear, and not knowing how to order my coffee in Gaelic, you know. And it got me thinking about how my upbringing, how it was always discouraged because it was of the, like, learning the language or listening to Gaelic TV. I loved the children's shows in Gaelic, and whilst I didn't understand everything, it was that that exposure to it did something to me when I was a kid. I was like, I just love this. I love hearing it. But it was that the attitude of the time was, don't listen to that because you'll never get a job. Yeah. Like, speak English and speak it properly. Oh my
God, that's my experience growing up as well. Same thing.
Yeah. Which is why when I'm here, that's why Māori language and Māori tikanga and the people are so important to me here, is because that comes from a place of grief of not knowing my own, and wanting, wherever I go, Australia with the Aboriginals, wherever, it's like, let's make sure those ways are upheld and supported and protected,
Wow. That's a really, really cool story, and it has an obvious synergy or association with Māori language as well. Yeah, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Trauma.
But different types of trauma depending on what generation you come from. So my generation, it wasn't about getting it beaten out of you, but it was, the message I got was, it's a waste of language.
Yeah.
Why would you bother learning it? Yeah. So it can't get you a job. You'd be better off learning Japanese. This is the stuff that we all heard when we were kids.
But what it can do is make you a whole person.
Yeah. And it now, I know that now because it really has filled in this thing that was never there. The unfortunate thing about the message that I got was from my own family, who are Māori. So they'd been indoctrinated to think that our language was worthless as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with my family members who would say that to me. It's part of the agenda, or it's part of the motion to make sure that these languages and these cultures go someday, so that we're all towing the line with what,
Yeah.
with what the kind of conditioning
that's right.
is. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
So how long did you spend in Scotland on that trip then?
That was just a week, I think, that trip.
Wow, that's a lot to pack in.
We jumped about those islands like crazy, and we were just so into it and wanted to experience, the history of it, because, I went to this site where, I forget the name for them, but they're essentially round houses, and how people used to live on those islands.
Yeah,
in
right.
houses that were round, and the work for the day would follow the sun around the house. So
wow.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. It actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so the bedroom was always located where it was, where the sun would go down. Yeah. So I was just so intrigued by how the people lived in the past, and also the different types of colonization that happened over those years, especially for those islands. So it was really great.
And so were you only in Scotland for a week in total?
No. I was I forget how long, but I was away from Tahuna for about 5 months.
Wow.
And it went so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
And did you spend the whole time in Scotland, or were you
so my dad actually lives in Devon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was really cool because with my ancestry research that I'm doing at the moment, I'm taking the lead on that within my family, and we've got several group chats that I just dump information in to let people know.
Nice.
But it feels like a reclamation, I guess, of getting to know who we really are and who we come from, and what languages were spoken and how did people do things. And I've learnt to care about these things through my experience with Indigenous cultures.
Wow, that's great.
And one thing I found when I was over there is that where my dad lives in Devon, we actually whakapapa back to there, and he didn't.
To Devon?
Yeah, he didn't know, so we whakapapa back to Cornwall and Devon, and our Cornish ancestors, are actually buried 5 minutes from him.
Wow.
And never knew this, So I learned a lot about the history of the Cornish language and how it doesn't exist anymore. And so that spurred me on to be like, right, well, what the hell are we doing about the Gaelic language, you know, and are enough people taking ownership for the state that it's in?
Yeah.
And what are we doing to hang on to it?
Yeah.
A little bit longer, Yeah.
So that was. Did you go back with the intention of doing all this and having this epiphanous sort of feeling about your own Gaelic language?
I guess a bit. I felt the need to reconnect because I've been away from my home soil.
Yeah.
Home soil.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
this is home. For about 6-7 years, I guess. So I'm a very different person to... Well, not very different, but I've evolved since then, let's just say.
Of course.
The things I care about have evolved.
Of course.
And it felt like the time to go back and start that. I've by nowhere near finished.
Yeah.
Don't think I ever will, but because of the connections I've made since travelling and calling this home, Tahuna home, I've been encouraged and I've been motivated to go and find out more about my different cultures that existed.
Right.
So I didn't realise the impact it would have on me.
Yeah.
I thought, oh yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then when I got there, it was emotional.
Great.
You know? And I spent a lot of time on Loch Lomond. I did a series of house sitting because I like to have my own space when I visit my family.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
Love them,
Yeah.
but I'm so
In
used
short
to my...
bursts.
Yeah. You know, so I was over there and I was on what I call auntie mode. So I was being auntie for a week and then having my own week away,
Yeah.
exploring, and so did a lot of house sitting around the country.
Yeah.
Loch Lomond and
Wow.
all these places that, you know, I didn't intend to go to, but when I went onto the house sitting website, it just popped up and
Yeah,
I
of
was like,
course.
clearly that's where I'm meant to go. The
Yeah, of
person
course.
said yes straight away.
Yeah.
Job done, you know. So yeah, it was really amazing.
And so you were doing all that by yourself as well?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, you're such an independent little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
and do your own stuff.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I love it.
And so did you always know you were coming back to Queenstown, or was there a point where you were back home and you said, you know what, I need to go back?
100% I knew I was coming back to
Right.
town.
Right.
I feel a huge sense of belonging here
Great.
and love the community. I've been, you know, kind of absorbed into the community
Yes, you
and
have.
claimed.
Yes, you have.
Some of my friends joke that I've been fang-eyed,
Yeah.
you know, to their whānau.
Absolutely.
Actually, I don't think that's a joke.
No, it's
So,
not a joke.
Yeah, that just, I haven't had that for the 6 years. Actually, I didn't have that in Scotland.
Right.
So it's a newfound love that I have.
Great.
And I love contributing to this community.
Yeah.
And being a part of any kaupapa that needs support
Yep.
in whatever way. So yeah, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
That's fantastic.
I might go back home to Scotland here and there,
Yeah,
but
of course, you're going to go back and
Yeah.
visit and stuff. But so Queenstown's home.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually Punatapu.
Punatapu, specifically
Bob's Cove, yeah.
Punatapu is home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that you've made it back into New Zealand and back to
Yeah.
Queenstown again, so what is this new version of Gemma up to these days?
So there's like an umbrella
Okay.
of what I'm up to, which is
Okay.
exciting.
It's not just one thing, right?
No. It's various kaupapa. It's it's Space to Lead Co is all about strategic leadership. So working with organisations to deliver bigger impact. So I help inform their strategic plan, their vision mission, their measurables. I do a bit of that. And then on the other side is the leadership mentoring. So it's leadership development. It's both personal and professional leadership mahi.
Great.
Yeah, and so a couple of weeks ago, I launched the Space to Lead podcast.
Great.
And yeah, it's really great. I love being part of conversations.
Yeah.
So that's my main thing at the moment.
Me too. It's the reason I made this podcast.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
I get a lot out of it personally, but also I just love interviewing other people. So the series is called The Unshakable Leader 100.
The Unshakable
Leader 100. So it's 100 unshakable leaders.
Wow.
And they're all real people leading real change.
Right.
And it's helping to connect how we and reclaim how we think of leadership.
Right.
Because in my experience, leadership, as I was growing up, leadership to me was all about politicians, corporate, boardrooms, suits. You know, it was something that I definitely didn't see within me. And I didn't hear that it was within me. It was for that person over there who's wealthier, louder, you know, that kind of, I'm sure you understand what I mean.
I do, totally.
So leadership has become this thing that has lots of connotations around it that I find limiting for the everyday person. Yeah. And leadership is an innate quality. It's within all of us.
I agree with that. Well, I mean, I feel some people are better at it than others.
True.
Yeah.
But it exists because if you've ever made a change in your life, that's your leadership at play. And leadership existed long before any boardroom existed. Yeah. You know, so
for sure.
Let's reclaim what leadership is and get to know it within ourselves, activate it, nurture it, develop it, and see how drastically your life can change in your home, workplace, business, community, whatever kaupapa it is. It can only be a good thing if you develop those skills, you know, communication, boundaries, nervous system regulation, whatever it is, you know, that's the thing that's stopping you saying, I'm a leader. Let's work on that, you know.
Great.
Yeah.
And are you doing that through are you providing a service on behalf of a company, or is this your own company?
So this is my own company.
Right.
Yeah, Space Delete Co. is my own company.
Nice.
I know. It's very new. So there's lots of learning curves to go along with running a business. Yeah,
of course.
So I've got my own leadership mentoring happening for me.
Great.
Because there's gaps in my leadership that I'm strengthening. But really the services are currently one-to-one personal leadership development services. So yeah, it looks like people talking to me over an app in the convenience of their own time. Yeah. So you're not limited to having to show up at a specific time for a Zoom. You know, people get coaching and mentoring for me when they're at the supermarket, when they're taking the kids to the pool, when, you know, because it's all on an app. So it's more accessible. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Wow. Yeah. And so I imagine, especially with the name of the project being the 100 Leaders, I imagine that you've got a network there that you've been connected into. Is it a network that continues to grow?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Is it specifically within this local region or no? Everywhere?
No, it's international.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So far I've only done 2 episodes, so I've got 98 to go. If anyone wants to be on it, shout me. And I'm hoping you'll say yes to being on it.
Yeah, sure.
So, so far we've had an amazing wahine toa living in Narm in Melbourne, and she's the founder of Kapa Ora Collective. Right. So we've had Jade Varapana Benione. She was number 1. And then we've had Katie Godden. The podcast episode just released last week. And she is an amazing woman also living in Australia. And she runs a communication global business. So, yeah, they've been really interesting conversations about their own leadership journey to recognising the leadership that they actually have. And at what point did that come? What struggles do they still have? Because I don't want to a lot of times we associate perfection with leadership and
Yeah.
scripted and polished and suited and booted and, and I'm like, no, it's messy. It's
Yeah.
scrappy. It's
Yeah.
it's imperfect.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
trial
Very
and
much.
error,
Yeah.
And I feel like the world can only be a better place if the everyday person takes the lead.
Yeah. And so I assume you're talking about leadership in all sorts of different industries and
Yeah.
all sorts of different cultures.
Yep.
Indigenous leaders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And how did you meet with these people? Like how did you make contact with them?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Just cold calling.
Yeah, whakawhanaungatanga is really important to me. It's
Yeah.
always has been. It's the first thing. It's a strength of mine, I would say. So
Yeah.
it's something that is my first go-to. So if I see someone doing great mahi, I'll reach out and wow, and just connect with people in whatever way feels natural.
Yeah.
So I don't cold call people. It's very responsive. So I work best if I've got something to respond to.
Yeah. Right.
Instead of activating or
Just
initiating.
randomly throwing things on a wall and hoping something sticks. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the most recent example of that is with the Toys to Te Tiriti Hikoi, like Fire Shyla put up the post of, we've got a few days to go, whānau, shall we get together for
Should
a
we do
hikoi?
something? Yeah.
And I was straight in there, full body response, kappa, I'm onto it, let's go. And look what happened. So I had that to respond to.
Yeah, gotcha. I understand now. Yeah.
And something happens
Yeah.
when I've got something to respond to. So what I'm really saying is relationships are built easily for me when I can see what people are doing, saying, feeling, and respond to that in the moment. And the connections are built really effortlessly,
Yeah.
So that's really how my network exists, is from that perspective.
Nice.
Yeah.
God.
And it's growing, so I'm planning to invite people who I might not have a connection with yet, but let's grow that connection and let's see what you've got to say about your story and contribute, because this isn't about me, this project. It's about grassroots leadership and getting that message out. Yeah.
Nice. And so what do you see in your future? Just more of this, or growing your business to be a bigger version of itself? Is that sort of, do you have a plan for where you're going to go with the business?
So I have a big impact future. So I've no idea what that looks like.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you right now, but the impact is what excites me.
Yeah.
So how can we change systems? How can we create social change for the better? Like, that's always been a big part of what I do. That's how I ended up in social services for over a decade, was like, let's create positive change, impact for our people.
Yeah.
That's always been my driver. And at the same time, I need to have my needs met. And so that's really the essence of Space to Lead Co, is me having the space to lead effectively.
Yeah.
And for me, creating spaces that are safer for people who face marginalisation to have the opportunity and equal access to leadership development, because that's where I see the real impact over the years. And let's just see where this goes. I have no idea.
You mentioned that you were receiving your own leadership mentoring.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we were talking earlier about my big trip back to Scotland and the UK in general. And so I actually did another trip recently back to Scotland for a couple of months. There was a series of unwellness in the whānau, so I made the decision to go over there, be with them, contribute,
Yeah.
It's hard to contribute when you live at the end of the earth,
Yes, the other side of the world.
So I met my new baby niece. So that's me got 3 nibblings, as I call them. And yeah, after that, because auntie mode is not easy, but I love it. But after that, I felt like, I need to top up my tank. You know, I need to.
Yeah.
So I made it to Bali.
Bali.
Yeah. There was a bit of a situation where I needed to basically drive down the country, got a speeding ticket on the way to catch my flight, you know. So anyway, dealt with that. Got to Bali just in time for, it's called CEO Week, but it is that, but it's so much more than that. It's about performance, it's about leadership, it's about communication. And so that was me having a week in Bali with Henry and Kate O'Brien, who are my mentors, and yeah, we got to work.
Nice.
And it was great. Yeah, it was a lot of stretching, you know, and developing my capacity.
Yeah.
And the things I find quite difficult, and meeting some great people from all over the world who came to that. And it was quite an intimate group. Yeah, and then I ended up, you know, back in Tauna to use those skills, you know.
And so your mentors, where do they live permanently? Are they in New Zealand?
They are back in Aotearoa now, yeah. They lived in Bali for a decade. So
Right.
Yeah. So.
Wow, you're getting around all over the place.
I am.
Now, with your business through the leadership mentoring, do you engage with other companies? You mentioned social services. Do you engage with particular branches or with other companies at all, or is it a focus on individuals?
So it's both. Yeah, at the moment it's both, because a lot of my expertise is around how can we generate more impact, and that's something I've had the experience of for a long time. So I'm using those skills to, you know, work alongside organisations, mainly NGOs and community leaders who are, who are stepping up and leading the kaupapa, and, you know, might need some assistance with, well, how the hell do we actually do this? You know, like,
for sure.
So it's wonderful that those people, those everyday people, are taking the lead to create change in their communities, or whatever it is. And so my job really is to go in and walk alongside them and guide them to what strategically to focus on next, so that they can gain the income, the funding, and to actually make that vision a reality. Because without thinking of the strategic steps to focus on, we can get scrappy and just do this and that and get nowhere fast. But it's like, for sure, you've set up this organisation with this vision in mind and the community's behind you, but actually what are the gaps in the leadership team or your own leadership that needs nurtured? Let's fill that gap, bridge it, and then
it sounds like impact. It sounds like it's more than just leadership. It sounds like it's like finding efficiencies in the way that you operate, you know, having a plan before you go into things, you know, so all really, really good outcomes. Yeah. Because God knows I could do with a bit of that sometimes, you know. You get a little bit frantic when you're doing something, and then when you finish doing it, you think, God, I could have approached that in such a better way. Yeah, no. If I'd just taken time to breathe and work out a plan, it could have been so much easier.
Yeah, and so that's what people do when they work with me, is they come in with the frantic, and I want them to do that. Yeah. I don't want you to come into a session or jump onto the app with some polished, you know, way of, I want the nitty gritty, irritable, I want, you know, voice it from
all the bad news
everywhere. And usually we spend the first part just word vomit, get it all out.
Yeah.
And then part of my role is to strategically go, well, this is the biggest lever to pull.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that. Let's
Yeah.
build a strategy. Let's dig deep and create a plan to get that lever pulled and then on to the next, you know? Because some people don't, and I'm the same, like I don't know where to go sometimes or what to focus on
Absolutely.
next. Personally, professionally, like it's just, sometimes you need that sounding board to be like, I've heard it, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it takes a bit of a skill, to be honest, to be able to, and the skill I mean, because I compare myself to it, and I'd be horrible at this type of job because I just don't have the patience. Yeah, I'm not an overly patient person. I just like to get in and do stuff. So the patience comes later on reflection.
Yeah.
You know, when I look at it afterwards and go, I made that so much harder than I should have. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't have to lead like that. You know, we can, because the more you do this work, the more you're able to decipher in the moment because you build those skills.
Yeah.
You know, it's a leadership gap that you're filling when you do this work. So you're able to intervene on yourself. That's the whole, when I talk about unshakable leadership, that term came from a complete frustration with how I've led in the past because I've had leadership qualities and then I've burnt out. But I've allowed that burnout to happen.
Yeah.
I've not got into communication through whatever reason. I've not put boundaries in place quick enough.
Yeah.
My nervous system's shot, I'm not giving that attention. You know, like sometimes I tend to overgive to the kaupapa.
Yeah.
And very little is being poured into me, but that's my own leadership issue, you know, so.
It's called being human.
Yeah.
I think we all go through that sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm over doing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I've done that time and time again. I'm not doing that.
Oh, you're too
anymore.
young to learn that lesson.
I
I've only
learned
just
it young.
recently learned that lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been there like 3-4 times and I'm done with it now, you know.
Yeah.
I know how to intervene on myself, and that's what makes a leader unshakable, is when they know exactly when, oh, hang on a minute, I'm off track.
Yeah.
What do I need? X, Y, Z, let's go.
Yeah.
Realign, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. So, are you actively out there selling your services right now?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to get in contact with you regarding the leadership mentoring, what's
Sure.
the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Probably the easiest way to get hold of me is on any social media at Gemma Rose Peacock. So that's Gemma with a G. That's the best way to just come send me a message.
Yeah.
Send me a voice note, love a voice note, you know, and I can ping the details over. Yeah.
So that's, I'm going to say Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I'm not on TikTok.
Not on TikTok.
Sorry,
How
guys.
could you not be on TikTok?
And Substack. So right now I have a Substack page that's Space to Lead, and over there you can find all the resources.
Great.
So I do articles. You'll find links to the podcast there too. So
Great.
there's
That's Substack.
Substack.
Right.
Space to Lead. You can also go onto the Spotify or wherever you get your podcast to find the Space to Lead podcast. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so, you know, through this chat, we've only really talked about the last 18 months, if that. And and you've managed to cram a whole lot into it.
Yeah.
So, but without a doubt, you've got other things going on as well,
Yeah.
I imagine. So from a personal perspective, you know, like the fun enjoyment side of life,
yeah.
what else have you got going on, or what other things do you try to fit into your life that's a I guess that gives you the balance, that work-life balance?
So I love tiny house living. So you'll find
Great
me being
idea.
a hermit in my tiny house. Love gardening. Growing all sorts of things. I absolutely love a good brunch and a yarn with all my wahine. That's the major thing. Through winter, I actually find it hard.
Yeah.
So that's
Yes.
really my vibe at the moment, is like only kind of coming out and being extroverted when I feel like it.
Yeah.
And that's the
Are you,
luxury
so
of working with
would you
yourself.
consider yourself to be an introvert?
I think of myself as being energized through introversion.
Yeah.
But I can be extroverted. I just need to charge to do that, you know?
Oh, yeah, you sound exactly like me.
Yeah.
That's quite an apt response. I mean, that's quite a technical, that sounds like you got that from AI, that definition. That is
No,
a really
I
brilliant...
got that from therapy.
Oh, did you?
About 4 years of therapy, mate.
Because
Yeah.
that's a really, really good definition.
Yeah, and I studied psychology as well. So I've got
Right,
that down.
okay.
Yeah.
That'll be why. Because I'm hopeless with definitions. I always dumb down my words, usually. But
I don't think you do.
What you just described is exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, I would consider myself to be an introvert. It's my happy place,
Yes.
being introverted. I enjoy being alone and sort of, or having a very small circle of family or friends.
Yeah, me too.
But I can be extroverted when I have to.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have to plan for it.
Yeah.
You know, I've got to G myself up for it.
Yeah.
But it's and so certainly with me, and I'll be interested to know how you feel about this from your perspective. So I know from my perspective, people who know me or are familiar with who I am, they probably see me as more of an extroverted person because the
that's
places
what
they
you
see me is
present. Yeah.
on stage
Yeah.
and on social media, and so, you know, but I've got to really drum up energy to do those
Weren't
things.
you dancing on Waitangi Day on stage?
Hey, I'll do anything. I'm shameless.
Extrovert.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm you know, the way my introverted thinking works is I'm looking at the audience going, okay, they're a little bit flat. What can I do to pep them
great.
up a little bit? And I'm like, well, there's all these, and my head is literally like a calculator. I'll go through calculations and go this and that and this and that. There's lots of children dance. Yeah, okay, I'll dance because I know children will like
Next minute
that.
he's twerking.
Yeah, so
I love it.
it's not natural at all.
No.
It's a calculated thought process before I do it.
It's a strategy.
Yeah, it's a strategy. It's fully strategy because it's stuff doesn't come natural to me.
Yeah.
But I have at my age, embarrassment's not an issue.
Yeah.
So now it becomes a strategy. It's like strategy, embarrass yourself. Cool, I'll do it.
Yeah, that'll get the laughs, that'll get the vibe higher. Yeah.
So would your friend, to yourself, would your friends and people who know you, would they consider you to be an introvert or more introverted than extroverted?
I think those that know me really well know exactly that I'm charged by introversion.
Yeah.
But those who maybe don't know me as well would be like, oh yeah, she's always, you know, she's at every kaupapa, she's, you know, chatting, she's extroverted. But I think sometimes we have this, again, just like we have a different way of looking at leadership, I do think we need to look slightly differently about the extrovert introvert thing because it's not black and white.
No, it's not black and white.
No.
It's too easy to label
You can't
people
just
as one
pick
or
one.
the other.
You know, like it's a calculation.
It
you
is.
know.
I think you know that energized by is a good way to put it, because then it becomes quite obvious that you lean more towards that camp than the other. So I think that's a good description.
Yeah, and it's not always that I'm energized by introversion, because if I get too much of that, it does the opposite.
Yeah, of course.
And so then I'm like, well, hang on, this hermit thing has been good for a week, but actually it's now starting to do the opposite. So I need to go and... So it's like a spectrum and you know...
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's different from me.
Oh, okay.
I would live forever in my introversion, and I only come out of my introversion because I go through a strategic calculation to say humans don't do this. You need to go and be extroverted for a period of time. So I'm like, okay, I'll put my pants on and go out and do something. So I I would be a hermit if I had a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, me too if I had a choice. But sometimes the hermit thing, that strategy is no longer needed and I need to do the opposite. So, yeah. Comes and goes.
I do enjoy this, though.
Yeah.
You know, especially...
Me too.
Especially, you know, one-on-one conversations or, you know, two-on-two type conversations. Not large audience conversations.
No.
You know, but...
Yeah. And there's a difference because I guess the viewers who listen to this, it is an audience. But right now I'm energized by this because it's a one-on-one.
It's a one-on-one,
So it's very, you know.
Yeah. And I guess part of the calculation is you've always got to be cognizant that the audience may be wide. Probably not for this podcast, but, you know.
You're getting up there.
But it's what I like about it, and it's why I like doing it in this small room and small studios, is that you can have this intimate conversation, but you always got to have this. You always got to be cognizant that I've got to be careful what I say because it's actually going to get out into the world.
Yeah.
I don't care because I'm at the age now where nothing bothers me about what I say. I feel like I can speak unfiltered for the most part.
Yeah.
But
it's good that you're doing that as well because also it's about the listener's understanding. So if I say something more complex, you've got a really good way of being like, well, hang on, let's explain that a bit more for the listeners.
Yeah.
You know? So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's conversation's great. And so is there anything in your future that you see besides the leadership stuff? Is there anything else in your future that you see yourself moving into or learning about, or, you know, like a new skill or some interest you've had that you've never had the opportunity to go into?
Well, I'm really interested in conversations around the old ways of Britain, of Scotland, of the countries and the places that I whakapapa to. So that's really what interests me at the moment, is learning a lot about all the old ways.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm finding different people to connect with around that because I find that knowledge really difficult to access because we're also talking about thousands of years ago.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, it's got an old history.
Yeah. We're talking about, you know, at least a couple, if not a few colonizations ago. So it's, I'm on that journey. So that's definitely lighting me up. And I see myself, and I've actually been asked to do some sort of Scots wānanga here.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's a good
lot
idea.
of Māori have Scots whakapapa or Irish whakapapa.
I do.
You do?
I had both, yeah.
So that might happen from a very, like, what I know now level, which is not too much. But I'd love to
more
be...
than the rest of us, right?
Yeah, and I have the accent, so I'm on brand, you know. But yeah, we'll see what goes on with that. I'm very open to evolution, so I'm just like, let's just see where this rides out. You know, I'll go where the wind calls me and go with what interests me, and yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's about wow. That time just shot through really quickly. So
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have any last words before we sign off?
Just to really consider what leadership means to you as a person, and and get in touch with that. That's what I'd leave with the listeners.
Fantastic. So remember, everyone, if you need to, if you want to get in contact with Gemma, the easiest way is typically through social media, at Gemma Rose Peacock from Instagram, Facebook. There's a Substack page with all the articles, and I assume you blog as well. Do you do any blogging?
That's on Substack.
Yeah, right. So there's some blogs on Substack as well. So yeah, reach out to Gemma if you want any help with the leadership stuff, and if you know someone who might be fitting to go on the podcast as well. And what was the name of the podcast?
Space to Lead.
Space to Lead.
Yeah.
Space to Lead podcast. Look it up on Spotify and whatever other podcast services you use. Right. So I'd like to thank you so much for coming in today, Gemma. It's been great. I can't believe it's been 2 years since the last time we chatted.
Yeah, that's wild.
on podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope everything goes well. And yes, I'd love to be interviewed on your podcast if you ever are looking for someone to fill a space that you can't get anyone else to come in.
The space is yours.
So if you enjoyed listening to that, remember to pop us a like down there on the thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time on The Chew. Mā te wā.